What's up guys, it is Lark and I'm back with another Battlefield 2042 video talking about update 3.2.1. Now, before we do get in the video, I'm just going to say apologies for my inconsistencies this week. I did miss an upload. If you have seen my community page, then you'll probably understand why. It will make sense. You head over there. Basically, my internet has just been absolutely in the ground. So to make up for that, I'll probably be triple uploading this weekend. If not, I'll double upload and then I'll have another upload for a longer video on Tuesday. Anyway, with that out of the way, I'm going to get straight into the most important things. Now, I'm going to be going over the highlights of this update. I'll have screenshots of other stuff anyway up on the screen so you can sort of see what is changing. Obviously, I'm only going to speak about the most important things because they are the most important and you're going to see why. Now, the most important things is the drum and extended mags. If you did watch my last video, then you would know that DICE are actually going to be reverting the changes they made for ADS time. So the ADS draw rate has been reverted to pre-update 3.2 values. You'll now notice that the draw rate is more immediate and less weighted than before. Thank God, by the way. I know they're going to be working on improving this so it works correctly in the game. But I mean, overall, I kind of liked it, even though it was more arcadey and Battlefield is obviously a more realistic game. I don't know, it works really well. You know, it's just a personal opinion, but I do kind of prefer it. I don't know, it feels, even though it feels more arcadey, it feels great. But DICE have gone on to say anyway about issues they could sort of move around this by doing shorter magazine sizes. So when you are using extended mags, you obviously have more ammo, but then it means the standard mags are going to be a lot smaller. And some of the weapons have tiny standard magazines anyway, and it's pretty standard, so that's not really a smart idea. And the other thing was suggesting to have slower reload times, which would make sense. I don't mind that if there's a bit of a penalty for a slower reload time. You already do it with the LMGs because they got bigger mags. I mean, technically, you do have slower reload times a bit, but they could increase that, and I think that's honestly the best way to go. I don't think they should decrease shorter ammo sizes and stuff. I mean, they've really said they're not going to do that, but yeah. The other ADS issue as well with the ARs, and that is the tac sprint to fire and the sprint to fire. I went over that in my last video as well. I think it was like 450 milliseconds, that's decreasing by like 200 milliseconds. And then the sprint is decreased from like 250 to like 150 or something. I went over that in my last video, but basically, yeah, ARs ain't going to feel as slow anymore. Thank God for that. Another couple things I thought I'd highlight as well. The MTAR is having an update where they're going to adjust the recoil, so it's more in line with other assault rifles. And it's also had the damage increase up to 40 meters from 18 to 22. That's quite a bit of a buff. I haven't actually used the MTAR, but I'm wanting to. And the PP2000 damage has increased up to 50 meters from 22 to 28. Now that's actually quite a significant buff. I quite like the PP2000. I do feel like it was a little bit weak at times, but overall it's not actually that bad of a weapon and the recoil isn't that bad. And yeah, so it's going to be a blast anyway trying to use the PP2000. That's always been one of my favourite weapons. It was in Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. But I think this PP2000 we got is from Bad Company 2, you know. Is what it is. The tracer dart gun as well has also had quite a nerf, to be honest. I don't really use the tracer dart, it's just not my thing. If you're running a tracer dart and you got a squad or whatever with the recoilless M5, obviously that's going to work really well. But now the tracer dart will correctly drop in height depending on the distance it has to travel, which is obvious. It's just gotten bullet drop pretty much. And they've also reduced the speed of the tracer dart from 500 meters a second to 250 meters a second, which is quite a massive nerf, to be honest. The uptime of the tracer dart will now last 12 seconds instead of 40 seconds, which again, another massive nerf. But there was a dev comment on this saying, "We've adjusted the trajectory and speed of a tracer dart to now offer a skill element to this gadget if you're aiming to land shots from long range distances. If you wish to reliably designate targets from long distance, the soft lam remains a tried and tested choice." Now, yeah, obviously the soft lam's just gross. I don't know why anyone would use it. I'm not a fan, you know. But basically, yeah, they've nerfed the tracer dart massively, so people are basically forced to use the soft lam. Obviously, not everyone wants to do that. But, you know, it is what it is. It just sort of makes more skill with it, you know. Okay, I can't really argue with it that much. Angel has also had a bit of a nerf. Well, I say a nerf, it's actually a glitch that's been fixed, where there's an issue which would allow players to select any gadget with any specialist via Angel's loadout crate. So just a heads up, if you've been abusing that, that's going to be gone. Crawford's mounted Vulcan, the health has been increased by 60%. Which is quite a jump. I mean, let's just say the health's 100, for example. It's gone up to 160. Now, I don't know what the health of it is, but I imagine it's quite a bit more than that. But anyway, that's quite a big buff. And there's also a dev comment with that. This change is to increase the survivability when up against direct gunfire, which is understandable. Grenades and rocket launchers will still cause it considerable damage, which they should. Mounted Vulcan now lasts 7 seconds from the moment it begins firing to reach its overheating point. I don't know if that's a buffer or nerf, it doesn't say what the time was before. Players are no longer able to place down 4 mounted Vulcans. 1 is enough. Okay, well that's a bit of a nerf. I didn't even know you could do that, but thank God. There's also a glitch as well, it's been patched. You can no longer use Dozer's ballistic shield while using a parachute or whilst prone. I didn't know you were able to do that anyway, but there you go. And the Javelin as well can no longer lock onto the Tracer Dart while the dart is out of line of sight. Which sort of makes sense. I suppose I haven't actually seen anyone do this, but I suppose the massive nerf on a Tracer Dart. Also probably because people have been using and abusing the Javelin with it. I haven't really seen it happen, but you know. So that is update 3.2.1. So obviously the main things were the drum and extended mags getting reverted back, and the ADS and the shoot to sprint time nerf that we had by accident, I should say, on the assault rifles as well, with pretty much all ammo types. So, you know, they're the biggest things, but the other notes, I pretty much went over everything anyway. But yeah, it's not a huge update, but there's quite a few good solid fixes in there. So if you enjoyed today's video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe.